Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. Thanks for joining up for our SummerSlam 2018 recap. What did you guys think of the event? Did you enjoy it? Let us know in the comments section. I'm RJ, joining up with Retro Brett.
Yo, yo, what's going on, fellas? We just got done watching it here at Trippy HQ, and I've got to say, at least personally, I felt a little disappointed in this year's event. Most of the matches felt rushed, and they were squash matches. So.
I can see why you think that, especially with the last match. I thought it was going to go a little bit longer. We'll talk about it. Obviously,
we'll get into it.
You had Strowman waiting for Reigns and Lesnar to finish. Kind of went a little bit differently than we thought it would go. And then, of course, you also have Ronda Rousey, first time ever being champ. So we definitely got to break that down. What do you think, Retro? We'll get into it. Subscribe if you are new. Let us know what you guys think about the epic event, both here in the comment section below. Hit us up on Twitter. I'll have all the links in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the SummerSlam recap. The former UFC standout and arguably the most historic women's fighter of all time, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, say that 3 times fast. She is the new Raw Women's Champion, as you can see. She was pretty excited about it. A lot of congratulations going after the match. What'd you think, Retro Brett?
I thought this was pretty much a one-sided match. It was kind of short. She only shows up once in a couple weeks. I mean, she was technically suspended for a month. I don't think she's going to be on television every week.
Yeah, much like Lesnar, I could see why you'd say that. You know, obviously she seems a cut above a lot of the other women's wrestlers. I really want to see her face off with Charlotte, but I'm a huge Alexa Bliss fan, so, you know, I would have liked to see possibly more out of Alexa in this match. I think, like you said, it was very one-sided. They made sure to show that Ronda is very dominant in the division.
Who's going to take her out? Who's going to take the title off of her?
It's got to be a hyped Charlotte versus Ronda match. I feel like that truly would be history.
Charlotte's a champion now, too.
The night began with Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. Pretty good matchup. As you can see by the picture, Seth definitely won it. And he had Dean Ambrose by his side. I know he gave the dirty deeds to Drew McIntyre right before the curb stomp went down. So it was a pretty good match. What did you think?
Well, I was surprised to see this match being first because it was the main event a couple pay-per-views ago. And they've developed quite a rivalry over the last couple months. But it was a pretty good match, decent length. I think the biggest story out of this match is Dean Ambrose coming back.
Yeah,
for sure. He did so last Raw.
Probably having a rivalry with McIntyre himself.
Yeah, I can see that because they're both kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. They're both a little nuts.
Makes sense. Match that I thought was disappointing was the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the tag team titles. Ended up in a DQ. You know, you got the fake hammers out there, of course. They're trying to pass off the Bludgeon Brothers as being an extreme force.
They're big guys, but I feel like you do that, you know, they really haven't gotten over. They haven't gotten over with me. Mm-hmm. So
maybe back in the Wyatt days, they actually fit in there.
One thing I'm certainly glad about is that Luke Harper has changed his dirty wife beater shirt.
That's true.
That
he went
was
with the same
nasty.
one for like a full year there.
But in this match was kind of short, and Big E put on a power display. But then it was ended in a DQ with their fake hammers.
It is too bad that they're not getting over more because, you know, clearly I bet behind the scenes they get a lot of respect. But, you know, unless they can really think of something to get them some momentum, I just don't know where this title's going to go. I'm guessing that the New Day will eventually beat them. I mean, they still are very much over themselves with their pancakes and their bootios.
Well, I mean, one thing the Bludgeon Brothers have going for them is they have a pretty cool entrance music.
Do like the entrance, and I like the two wrestlers, but, you know, when you have a match and it's going over like a fart in church, something's wrong.
That's pretty well said.
Braun Strowman, Mr. Money in the Bank, or I think it's Mr. Monster in the Bank, they're calling him. He went against KO. Apparently, Kevin Owens had a chance to strip him of the Money in the Bank briefcase, but that didn't happen as he got railroaded.
Well, this was a very, very short match. It was the epitome of a squash match.
A little complaint that I have for Kevin Owens. I actually thought he was one of the better heels on the roster. Now they're kind of, I don't know, making him a little bit flaky. Definitely not getting any impressive wins here as he got destroyed. And he was the jabron of the night.
Who doesn't get destroyed by Strowman? I mean, honestly.
Good point. Good point. And I love Braun Strowman. He's my favorite wrestler, so I absolutely enjoyed the ending to this match. But I still feel a little bit bad for Kevin Owens. Who is better than this?
I mean, how long did it last? What, less than 5 minutes?
I mean, I literally, was going to the other room just for a second. And
it was over.
Yeah, when I stood up, looked away, it was over. I was like, really? Okay, all right. Well, seeing as we thought that Strowman would make another appearance, it really didn't surprise me, other than the fact that I really did think this would have been a good match. The SmackDown Women's Champ, we talked about her earlier, Charlotte, I think a very impressive women's wrestler, if not the most impressive. So she took out Becky, as well as Carmella. We had the three-way match here, Retro. What'd you think?
I thought it was a great triple threat match. It was a little long. The best part of this match was Becky Lynch's rock bottom.
The championship match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe involved AJ Styles' family, including his little daughter here. A lot to talk about with this one, Retro Brett. I mean, what can you say? First of all, I mean, do you agree with Samoa Joe calling out the family, saying that he could be their new daddy?
It always makes me feel very uncomfortable. I mean, come on, you can't come up with a better storyline than going after someone's family.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's just low.
You have AJ Styles, who's really on a pedestal at this point, and they're trying to build Samoa Joe up as a big-time heel, and this is the route they're going. They're trying to get everybody in the crowd and the audience at home to feel the hatred and feel the low blow, but I don't know if everybody's going to feel it. Maybe they will. I don't know. It's just, for me, kind of weird to feature the mom and the daughter here so much.
It's just not right. I mean, come on, you're better than that.
And then it was a DQ, so...
Well, this is a WWE, maybe you're not.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Styles went into rage mode, disqualified, so I'm sure we'll see the match again, maybe WrestleMania or something.
I'm surprised that both wrestlers signed off on this storyline. I mean, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe have been all over the world together. They were in TNA, they were in New Japan.
It's definitely going to add fuel to the fire. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the nut punch by Nakamura, so we have the nut punches to AJ Styles. Now going after his wife. Poor AJ Styles here, but, it is what it is.
Since Samoa Joe has gotten to WWE a couple years ago, his booking has been terrible. I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. They, book him, they kind of push him, but kind of book him as, a raging lunatic. First, he was Triple H's destroyer, and they never really do much with him.
We'll see what happens next between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. Hopefully we won't see these two anywhere near pay-per-view again, and I hope to see a much better match.
Please don't involve the family.
Daniel Bryan faced off with the new reality TV show star The Miz. And what happened was The Miz actually, I think, got brass knuckles from his wife's undercarriage or something, and then went after Daniel Bryan, punched him, knocked him out, got the victory. Daniel Bryan seemed pretty distraught, even though it was clearly a dirty win from The Miz, which is usually how he gets them.
Do you expect anything else?
Not at all. What'd you think of the match?
This match was more or less a grudge match. It went on a little long, and it was kind of boring.
Considering how good Daniel Bryan was before the injury, and he had the hiatus there, I think we expect a little bit more from his matches. Maybe they're building up to it, but, there you have it. Miz versus Daniel Bryan. Probably not in the books considering how this one ended. The match between Finn Balor and Baron Corbin happened very quickly. You may have missed it, but Finn Balor got a dominating win. I guess he's going back to his demonic form, maybe just for one night. I think they're trying to prove that this is maybe his best form is when he's just all-out demonic psychopath.
Well, what they were saying is that when he goes to his demonic form, he's totally different. His demonic form has not been seen in quite a long time.
Maybe showing that Finn Balor is one of the top tier wrestlers in this form, and perhaps he can take on the likes of a Lesnar or a Reigns or whoever.
Maybe he'll go to this form more often.
Shinsuke Nakamura retained the U.S. Championship by defeating Jeff Hardy. What did you think of the match? We didn't see any ball busters this time.
In one word, forgettable.
You think it was forgettable? I mean, Shinsuke had so much hype, especially when he was going against AJ Styles. I don't know what's going on. Like I said earlier, the ball buster kind of got me away from him, but he's still very popular.
Yeah, I mean, that's not cool to do to another dude, but yeah, this match got sucked.
On to the main event, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the 100th time. This time they had Braun Strowman waiting outside of the ring, trying to cash in the Money in the Bank. That didn't happen, but we did have Roman Reigns finally vanquishing Brock Lesnar, and he is your new WWE Universal Champion.
Yeah, thanks to a fast count by the ref.
You think so?
I think it was slightly fast.
Check out this moment right after the match. It was pretty cool how Reigns went right over to Paul Heyman, trying to talk smack to him. If you guys remember, it looked like maybe Paul Heyman was going to backstab, well, maybe not backstab Lesnar, seeing as Lesnar kind of muscle gripped him there for a little bit. Anyways, he was going to seemingly team up with Reigns, and then I think he maced him or pepper sprayed him in the eyes. So Reigns, not happy about that one, went straight to Heyman to tell him what's up.
Yeah, he's talking a little trash there.
Rightfully so.
But as you said, Strowman was waiting in the wings for whoever won the match, and he got a couple chair shots from Brock Lesnar.
F5.
Which shouldn't have kept him down. I mean, he's a tougher guy than that. Come on.
Well, they did take the Money in the Bank briefcase and like launch it up towards the stage there, so maybe he couldn't have a chance to go grab it real quick. Obviously, they're just stalling it.
Well, that was an Aaron Rodgers-esque type of throw.
It was.
Up to the entrance ramp there. But I thought for a couple seconds that it was going to be a triple threat match.
It looked that way, but then his angle was that he wanted to do it face-to-face. A great perspective considering every time we see this guy, you know, whoever the Mr. Money in the Bank is, pretty much come out to try to get the cheap victory a la Seth Rollins. So it's kind of cool to see, it was cool to see, you know, Strowman come out like a man and say, listen, I don't have to hide behind nothing. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to come at you. That didn't happen. I'm sure it's going to happen in the future. Possibly Brock versus Roman. We all know that Roman Reigns gets a ton of hate. There's still a pretty big fan base for him, but he's getting pushed by, you know, the McMahons and the people behind the scenes, of course. So are the fans going to finally take a liking to him now that he's the champ? Because
no.
I kind of doubt that, right?
I think the best part of this match was not that Roman Reigns is the champion, but that he took the belt off of Lesnar.
That's what people can rally behind, because as cool as it was to have Lesnar as the champ for a while, you know, me and you, I don't think we were...
It got old.
We weren't the ones saying, hey, this guy has to be at every Raw. We were fine, but now, years later, whatever, however long it's been...
It got a little old.
Yeah, now I'm starting to see, hey, we do need somebody kind of like a Stone Cold and The Rock, who even if they're not in a match, they can stir it up. This guy doesn't even want to be at the stadium, which is...
And he often isn't.
Big issue. We'll see what happens next. Roman Reigns has the title, so if Lesnar's not showing up, then no one's going to give a damn about him.
Well, let's hope that he goes back to the UFC.
I'm going to come out and say it. I think that would be a mistake. We saw what happened to CM Punk. Now, Brock Lesnar originally was a UFC fighter, but he's been in wrestling. I'm telling you, even the worst UFC fighter is a badass mother effer. So it's just risky. Right here, you have a cushy job. You're looked at as an A-lister. If you're back in the UFC, chances are you might get your ass kicked.
He gets a shitload of money, but how can you compare Brock Lesnar to CM Punk?
They both think that they're better off in the UFC than in wrestling, where they both were champs. I mean, the grass is always greener on the other side. This is up to interpretation. Some people might say, hey, wrestling is fake. Why not go show off your skills in a real arena where you're really fighting somebody?
Shitloads of money, yeah.
And the way Lesnar's winning, he's just brutally destroying most of these people. In this case, it was a faster match. A little bit of, three-way going on here to where he did the F5 to Braun Strowman, came back in the ring, took the spear, and lost. So will he have his revenge?
He's 41 years old.
Exactly. Why would you want to go into UFC when you're 41? You're fine in wrestling. He never seemed to, take a natural liking to it, which I just don't get, because if he would have kept on making appearances, winning matches, he would be looked at as a legend of wrestling. We know this because he's such a potent fighter.
You're right.
Thanks again for joining up for the video, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. It lets us know that you want more wrestling coverage. We definitely have a lot more to cover. And hopefully we can get Retro Brett back. The Mega Man X Legacy Collection just got released. I know some people have been reaching out saying they want to challenge you to see if you can beat the game live. Hopefully we can hear from you again very soon, Retro.
Well, you know about the recording curse.
Yeah.
But
We know.
overall, I think this was a lackluster pay-per-view full of botches.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get a more grand pay-per-view for the all-women's Evolution
Oh
pay-per-view.
yeah, that's coming up, isn't it?
I mean, we got to hear from you about that. Perhaps the return of the Braun Panties match?
I doubt it.
I don't think so, right?
But if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Stay trippy. Adios, muchachos.